India la pitor de amikhan laga state Nagaland be one of the poorest state de hutai ahi thaga amikhan idu jani ase amikhan laga manukan bhabi thagi aro kui thagi amikhan laga state economy to kinaka ase nole bi idu state economy to kinaka juli ase guna amikhan idu bhabi thagi enaka homoi de amikhan logode yede Dr. Kekuka Muru tai chairman Confederation of Nagaland Chamber of Commerce and Industry ase itu laga kutha amikhan laga state economy laga opor de kutha guru bole ide Nagaland News Network lo dai gina ase thank you so much for your time sir mon sob manu jane ase amikhan laga state laga condition do kinaka ase to apni bi kinaka sai ase amikhan laga state economy to
Thank you so much for this time. I think it's very important that occasionally this kind of perspective or issues has to be on the limelight. Or Nagaland TV to initiative later to be because we need to reach out. We need to let our people know where we are. So thank you so much for the time. Nagaland laga economy as such, comparing to the rest of India. I think India is growing at a pace which was never seen. And from micro, mini to large-scale industries, from tourism to even space exploration. And even in terms of technological, advancement, bringing business into India. I think India has become a very stable economy that the world is, banking upon now. I think down the line, for us as a Nagaland, we have not been able to catch up with the progress the rest of India is going through. And we are lagging behind. Various factors and reasons are there. We end up blaming on the politicians or maybe to somebody, Naga political movement. We end up blaming on few issues, but it's all put together, we cannot just say that this is just one of the reason why we are not growing. It's not that also. And basically, again, our tradition, our culture, which was more self-sufficient with farming rather than being more trade or business-oriented. So we have just come up from that kind of a situation. Also, there are lots of factors, but overall, comparatively, we are doing better, but we are nowhere still. Yeah.
Ni kwa nishna itu amikhan la state Nagaland do like a parcel do agrarian economy ko yamondo to libi amikhan ek parcel do iturwa do iman help na kura nishna ase so apni nimite do what should be the backbone no libi kundu de thik focus korna itu amikhan laga economy to lui jale thik ho.
Yeah, for us, it's agrarian economy is one thing that it was basically, as we all know, it was a family-oriented thing, so it cannot sustain beyond the family. And that's not economically viable. Because at the end of the day, today we are not just talking about, feeding a family, but we're looking beyond owning a car, buildings, education beyond the states. So I think that will not suffice or sustain the family, the demands of the modern, modern demands. Economic demand. So I think we need to start the shift, And now I think here, just let me focus on the agrarian perspective. Even there are certain government policies which says that there's one product, one district, for example, and I'm a little uncomfortable with that. The state government has to really give a thorough, in-depth study before jumping into such kind of, policies. Because, for example, now we see that in urban areas, in metros, we have seen graduates, technicians, the scientists, the big business houses, going back and doing the farming, and where, you don't need a huge space, but it's scientifically done in such a way that they're earning lakhs and lakhs of rupees from a small space, So the state government should not come and says, hey, your district is good for, your district needs to be producing this kind of a product only, instead of encouraging the farmers, on their interests. So I think here we need a little course correction. Government can suggest that, okay, Dimapur is ideal for that kind of a climate, and then so this kind of, farming is ideal, That kind of broad-based suggestion can be given. But the choice of what to produce should be left to the individuals, farmers. Because today, if we do scientifically, I think we have a lesser population with abundant land. So I think agriculture is something, one area again we can do quite a lot. So on that areas, I feel that government needs to slightly revisit the one product for one district has to be revisited. Rather, it should encourage, because again, here the need to shift is government needs to promote agriculture among the educated youth by giving, by encouraging the scientific, using the scientific method of farming and all, Of course, government have been doing quite a lot in the past so many years, giving away tractors, farming equipment, seeds. But I think down the line, why that has not produced much of a good result is that basically, I think again with the government, the department has to really do the homework. You just can't give a tractor to tractor in a hill station. Rather, you need something more efficient machinery than the tractor. Likewise, you cannot give it has to be thoroughly studied, Not every Naga population needs to go back to farming, but educated youths can, if government is serious enough, maybe 1,000 educated, motivated youth going back to farming can produce, unimaginable, economic dividends. So government needs to start, streamlining and then coming up with policies and financial assistance that they can motivate the educated unemployed youths. Yeah.
So talking about garments, itu government department kan itu trade expo nishna, Nltp conclave alag kan itu expedition kan bisi rakhina ye. So do you think it inka event kan organize kurado like it's helpful for us? It's actually helping.
It helps, but the thing is, are we just doing the face wash, whitewash, or are we really benefiting the real entrepreneurs, the real producers? The issue is there. That is the two different issues. Now, if you are inviting a middleman to the expo, who is just buying from the producer and showcasing it, does it really help? No, I don't think. But if at all these kind of expos or exposures, that many exposure trips are also done, and stalls across various parts of the countries are put up. In fact, even abroad. Now the thing is, it's not mine, it's nobody's. Everyone has to take collective consent to ensure that the stakeholders are benefited. Because at the end of the day, we are talking about our future, your future, everybody's future. Even we are talking about governments. If government are deep into it, then I think the the economic burden will ease up if we really started promoting the real stakeholders, But I'm not blaming, but I feel out of 100, maybe 80% ends up being a middleman or someone who is in between, and not the real producers or someone who is deep down in the real stakeholders, So I think not blaming anyone, but the government has to do a lot of exercise, in reaching out to the real stakeholders so that they are motivated. So that's my take on it.
Itu amikan laga state Nagaland debi ini educated unemployed kan nulibi alak individuals kan dan bi itu entrepreneurship line di itu bisi interest tabi amikan dikhi tage ulibi at the same time tan itu illegal taxation lah opor de tan phui khabi ekta amikan dikhi pai tage. So what is your stand on that as well?
The menace of taxation is there. But again, I will encourage our entrepreneurs that should not be an excuse, That should not be. Somewhere down the line, when hundreds of new entrepreneurs are thriving despite difficulties, why not them? You need to find a way out. You cannot just keep taking excuses on that. Bitor manu hole bi, they are our fathers, they are our parents, they are brothers and sisters. So you venture into it and you express your difficulties, probably they will understand that. So, of course, it's back-breaking. It really, the multiple taxation that, and also the multiple faction that is imposing taxes. Now we know that we have more than 20 factions. So that is not sustainable. It is back-breaking, but I think we cannot just keep on, taking excuses on that and doing nothing. Somewhere down the line, we have to start doing that. But of course, again, the Cncci and the business community has always been in favor of immediate resolution of Indo-Naga peace talk. Because unless we have such conducive ground to play, it becomes very difficult. We thoroughly understand that. But I will encourage our educated unemployed youths who are willing to take risk. That nothing is easy. They need to push hard. So I will encourage them to come in. When thousands are thriving, hundreds are thriving, I think they can be one of them.
Amikan la state te aro parcel itu Nltp Act ase. Amikan la state te. Aro amikan itu bi jani ase ki when it comes to mudu amikan kui thage ki amikan laga itu mudu du Assam de tan la economy push korde ase itu bi kui thage. So apni la opinion debi apni la bhavna debi itu Nltp Act to kinka bhabe ase apni be?
Personally, I feel that it has to be lifted. No doubt about it. Because either you like it or not, and we should not be in a denial mode, that imposing the act and then making the state dry, declare a state as a dry state doesn't make the state dry. We have completely failed. Rather, we have encouraged a group of, syndicates. We have started feeding our people with low-grade chemicals. I would rather put it that way because it is really affecting our health. And also in terms of economy, I think why our state, we all talk about the resource crunch, the lack of our economic development, the lack of, the tax that the revenue that the state government earns. I think this is one area again where it can really help the state government. And when we talk about helping the state government, the public We need to thoroughly understand the fact that when the revenue comes into the state government, it doesn't belong to state government. It belongs to the people of Nagaland. So we are the one who is going to benefit, not the state government. So of course that corruption issue comes in, and that is a different thing. But at the end of the day, that is our money. We are not going to collect it and give it to the state government. It's going to build your schools, hospitals, roads, streets, whatnot. So I think we need to start thinking on that line. Not because we really want that the revenue should. I'm not talking only from the perspective of increasing the state revenue, but I'm talking in terms of health. I'm talking in terms of state economy. I'm talking in terms of opportunities to have employment generation legally. Modu Bikri, now those who are dealing with those IMLF or whatever, they might be employing some hundreds of people, but once it is legalized, we can talk about in terms of thousands of employment. So I'm talking from the angle of employment also. And of all, I mean, nowhere this such kind of this kind of a ban has succeeded, as per what I have seen from various in comparison to various other states and also elsewhere. In fact, in America, it was in 19th century, during their early days, such kind of things was planned, and they also did that, but they failed miserably. So I think the personal choice has to be there. Now we need to trust our people. We need to let our people decide what is right, what is wrong. No, it's a very personal thing. Now tomorrow, if we decide that everybody should go to church on Sunday and Nohele, we will impose certain fines or they'll be jailed, will that succeed? No. So these are kind of a personal choice that we really need to start thinking about. Yeah.
Before we wind up our conversation, I just want to know your opinion. Like being the chairman of the CNCCI, Amikalaga state economy boost kurule, kilaka sector de focus kurle to bhalo.
Well, I think lots of areas are there where we can improve ourselves. First thing is, I want the Naga political solution to be resolved at the earliest. That's number one. Number two is, I think the state government has to start doing very serious homework. 20 years, 30 years down the line, they've been talking about employment generation, empowering the youths. Well, I have seen for the last 20, 30 years, CM Course Pass Fund has been given. All those schemes are there, but on the ground, we have not seen much of such, the success rate is very nominal. Out of 100, let's assume that in a year, if the government assists about for 1,000 unemployed educated youths, I think the success rate is not even 10%. So unless we address that, how long are we going to do that? How long will the state government keep on giving out freebies, without producing the results? So the government needs to revisit. Now, in the sector where we can promote our economy, as you pointed out, I think we need to understand that we are a less populated state. And our focus should be mainly not be on the labor-intensive industries or factories, sector. Rather, we should focus on what we are good at. So one thing that which the state government has done well is, I think, Hornbill Festival is very good. But we need to make it sure that it's made in such a way that ecotourism in the state is promoted very well. Our hospitality is very well known. Our youths are good in our youths are very well educated. They have good command over English, and their ability to interact with outside world is very good. So we can have more of the state government has been having mini hornbills, across the states, with each district having that. But I will suggest that we need, rather than focusing on just cultural aspect, of every district or tribe, why not we explore ecotourism in terms of we are blessed with mountains, we are blessed with snow-clad mountains, we are blessed with flora, fauna, rivers, beautiful rivers. Why not we slightly shift our focus? Because those are not very labor-intensive industry. So that is one aspect where we can really excel. If with the state governments, we have seen lots of community conservation coming up, where state government there are millions of tourists, eco-tourists, who love to come to such exotic spots, don't mind, indulging in those spots. I think this is one area we can really focus on. Other thing is, again, on services. Service sector is one area where our youth can excel. So this service sector is one area we need to focus. Now, for example, there's a dearth of nurses to take care of elderly in many Western countries. Our people are very good at it. The way we take care of. We are very good. So I think these are again areas where we can take care, really focus on the service sector. I think down the line we have been making policies which doesn't go in line with what our people are good at, where we can encash, where we can grow. Rather, it has been little contradictory in implementing such policies which doesn't suit well with the real potential of the state. So down the line we have been failing. I feel that state government should come up with such policies, and this is my request to the state government again, that way back in 60s, 70s, or even 80s, 90s, the business community more or less was very focused with just retailing and then small trading, But we are now at this point of time we are diversifying. We have seen lots of diverse business activities diversing. So that's a good sign. So the state government has to really identify those diversified areas and then start encouraging on those areas, Because in 90s, till 90s, or even now, to some extent, we are not undermining the government servants or the people in the office. But now it is high time that if you want to take a policy decision that can affect the people at the ground, you need to first consult the stakeholders. Now, somebody may be very highly qualified and educated, but he is sitting in the office, and if he makes a policy decision on behalf of business community, probably I'm sure that he may know 20%, but 80% he's not aware of where he can intervene. A better intervention is required. But we, the business community, on sitting across the table, can give an input that can plug another, maybe 40, 50% or 60%. So we are going to perform better with that input. But it's still now, our state government or the policy makers, they still feel that they are the jack of all trades, you know. So what happens is the policy that they make doesn't tally with what the ground needs. And there is a huge difference. That's why there is a disconnect. So that disconnect has to be plugged. We study across the success of various economies. And, you know, amazingly, the government literally catch the hands of their people to teach them, you know, assist them. Here we are not doing that. Dishe hoishe khatam. If you are succeeding or not, it doesn't matter. It's public money, so it's up to you. Now, who knows, out of thousands of government assistance that has been given out, probably thousands of them must be must have purchased their car or built the house or purchased a plot of land instead of doing business. But don't forget, there are also thousands of people who genuinely wants to work. And the government cannot just identify like that. That is where, again, identification becomes an issue. But the stakeholders, the business community knows, you know, whom to identify. And if government is serious at all that the entrepreneurship should grow, the business should grow, and our economy has to grow, then I think the government has to do that part, you know. Let the stakeholders give their inputs, help them assist in identifying the beneficiaries, and help them out in giving inputs on their policy decisions, you know. And also listen when a business community brings out. My office has been writing occasionally to the state government on various issues. I don't know whether they take it seriously or not. It's their outlook. But any government to grow economically, I think without the inputs of a business community, it is not possible. That is why anywhere in the world, you know, the business communities are, in fact, at no point of time I have seen that in a budget, state budget lying in assembly, I have not seen any consultation by the state government. I'm not talking about this dispensation, but they have never consulted a business and industry body on what are the policies that we want, you know. I mean, in India, there are hundreds of such all India trade bodies, and they take consultation, you know. And that's how they implement, and that's how they mutually benefit, you know. When the industry benefits, when the business community benefits, it's the state government ultimately who benefits. Right. So these are areas I think the state government has to wake up, or otherwise we will be stuck here. If they are serious, start working with the business community. If it's all, the economy of the state has to grow. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for speaking with Nagaland News Network. That was in conversation with the chairman of Cncci, Dr. Kekuka Muru. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is reporter Kamrido Nongti with video journalist Moa.